So stage one of coding with Callie was just to hard code everything right into my code, all of the copy, all of the text, everything. So that way I just deploy and I have a website. And that's nice. It allowed me to get my website off the ground and up and running, but we are moving on to phase two, which is the make it better phase. Phase one, make it work. Phase two, make it better. All right, so let's look at this section here. This section is my like, hi, I'm Callie, this is who I am section, right? If I go and look at my code, you can see that this is still hard coded. I have it just up here at top. And then if you look here, you can see that I have the section right here. It's just hard coded. So if I found a typo in it, I would have to go in, edit the code, push to GitHub, redeploy. It would be a whole process, okay? So let me show you what I just worked on. I have these resources here that I have on my website. So these are my workshops, my Build in Public challenge, my Deploy in Public challenge. I have my weekly meetups, and I have my project planning tool. Okay, these are all resources that are free, and you are welcome to go use them whenever you want. Okay, but you'll notice they have like the similar structure. So it got me to thinking, what could I do to allow me to edit these in a more easy fashion, right? I don't want to have to go into my code and make a pull request, review a code, redeploy every time that I find a typo. All right. So what I did is I made an admin portal. Okay. So this is my username for my admin. So I am an admin. Now you can see the website looks a little bit different. Now we have these buttons here. Okay. And if you scroll down the bottom, we have this form here. Okay. So I have the ability to edit all of these resources. Okay. And add new ones. All right. So let's add a new one and see how it works. So we're going to just say test resource, say this is a test resource. It's pretty cool. Let's make a new line so that way we can see how the new line feature works. I can't wait to hear your feedback. All right, then I can upload a resource image. So let's say that I'm just gonna pick a random thumbnail from a YouTube video. And yep, we'll say let's go. And then I need a resource link. Let me go to my YouTube and just find one of my videos. Mm, all right, and then let's just get the shareable link. Cool. All right, and so we'll paste in that link to that video. And then if you see, we have this checkbox here for whether or not we want to open the link in the new tab. Because some of my resources, like my planning my project tool, just take you to the project planning tool on my website. Same with guest speakers, right? So that's just a page on my website. So it doesn't need to open a new tab. But this is a YouTube video, so I do. So I'm going to submit it. What is it doing right now? It's uploading the image to S3, it's getting the image URL, and now it is adding that resource to my database. And now you can see that at the very bottom, I have this test resource here. All right, let's prove this, right, by opening up an incognito window. Let's go to codingwithcallie.com, right? And I'm not logged in, and you can see that this test resource is here. So if anyone is on my website right at this moment, they would see this test resource. If they click let's go, they will be redirected to my YouTube video. Pretty cool, right? All right, let's close this incognito window. But that's not all, because yes, it's nice to add new resources, but I originally was working on this feature because I keep getting messages from people be like, hey, you made a typo in this. And I'm like, oh no, that's gonna wait a week for my next deploy, okay? So what can I do now? I can edit. So I can click on this edit button here and I can add an edit. So let's say this resource, I don't want to call it test resource. I'm going to call it test resource. Uh, let's call this YouTube video. Okay. And then I can go ahead and click the check mark. and it's going to update my resource. And so now this says YouTube video. All right. So it's a really quick way that I can edit my website. It's going to be edited for users, right? So if we go back to our incognito window, all right, it will load, and you can see that this YouTube video here is now YouTube video. All right. It allows me to edit things a lot quicker. What else do I want to be able to do? Well, right now, whenever I add a resource, it adds the resource to the end of the list. And that's nice, but maybe I want to promote it. Maybe this YouTube video is just like amazing. I want everyone to see it. Okay. So I can go ahead and hit this up arrow, and it's going to move this section, this resource up in my list. So this is going to be the way that I can reorder things. So maybe build and public challenge is the most important, and then YouTube. You can see that the button is disabled if it's at the top of the list, and you can see the down button is disabled at the bottom of the list. All right, so that's a way that we can edit the resource section and do that. We can also delete, right? So this is a fake resource. I don't want to do it. So I'm going to go ahead and delete it, and you can delete it right there. All right. What does this look like on the back end? Okay. What does this look like in code? So if you look right here was my home text that was just hard coded. All right, so you can see that I am pulling in data, loader data. This is using React routers use loader data hook. Basically, I just have my router and it asks for data. So it's going ahead and asking for the list of all my resources from my backend. Okay, so I actually have a database and all of my resources are in here in my database. All right. If you see then, right, we have the resources get set from, we get all the resources from the database, and then we just go ahead and map through them and create a component for each resource. All right. Within the actual resource, we're looking whether or not I'm an admin, right? So if I'm not an admin, let's see, is this our incognito window? Okay, so this is our, oh, we don't have one. So if I'm not an admin, right, and if I log out here, you can see that I see nothing. It's not editable. So that's where that's coming in, right? So we're saying if I'm the role of the admin, then I should be able to edit this resource. So let's go. And then also that's the same thing here. If I'm the role of admin, I should be able to use the resource form. So let's go ahead and take a look at that. So you can see that then we have our resource, and we just use that edit state here. We set up edit to show what you need to see. So basically, you're either going to show the input or you're going to show the actual text. And that's what's going to show you the difference. Let's log back in again. That's what's going to show you the difference between when I click this edit button, right? So before it was just the like information from the database, right? And now when I click edit, it's an input. So all I'm doing is I have an edit state, and I'm just looking at when I click this button, let's toggle that state. We have this. All right. We have also some cool features in terms of some like validation, right? If I accidentally put nothing in there, it's going to yell at me. And then if I try to submit it, it's going to say I have to fill out all of the fields. All right. So that's going to make sure I do that. Another thing is if nothing changes, if I don't want to call the API, if nothing changes. So when I click enter, you can see I didn't get a toast. It didn't call my API here. Anywho, I hope that was a good walkthrough of the Coding with Callie website's new feature. Thanks for watching.